Wow, wow, wow. I mean, do we have a show for you? This is amazing.
Yes.
We just watched Fear the Walking Dead, the season finale. That was freaking amazing. The whole series was amazing. We're going to talk about that. And not only that, we have actual celebrities on the show tonight.
We've been promising it.
I know. And we have celebrity guests talking about Fear the Walking Dead.
Yes, we do.
Number one, we have a guest from Star Trek, The Next Generation.
Yep.
She was on 80 episodes of the TV show and 3 of the Star Trek movies.
Right.
Her name is Tracee Cocco, and she played Lieutenant J in the series. She's talking about Fear the Walking Dead on the show tonight.
Yes.
We also have a guy from Pawn Stars, an antiquities and antiques expert, Doc Phineas.
And he's a real professor. A
real, actual college professor that's been teaching college, and he's talking about the origins of zombie culture and zombie mythology. And we also have a model on tonight, and her name is Tia Maria. She's going to talk about what she thought about the series as well.
And she's from the steampunk world.
Yeah, SteamPunk world.
Yeah.
She's an actual model. And let's get straight down to business. One more thing just before we do. We look kind of cool tonight because I'm dressed up like Rick Grimes. And Kivan, this may look like Subway, but it says zombies eat fresh.
I love it.
And I got the Rick Grimes thing, which makes sense. And these are both from the Halloween Guys. And the Halloween Guys are located in Central California. And you can go to thepartyguys.net because they're the Halloween Guys in October. They're the Party Guys all year long. And they have great costumes. Both of these shirts are available, and they're great if you want to kind of go low-key, kind of to a Halloween party, and you don't want to go in the full, like, big kind of thing, which they also have as well. But you can
wear this with jeans anytime, right?
Wear that shirt, wear this shirt, you're going to fit right in, you're wearing a costume, and you're good to go.
Exactly.
Now let's jump into it. Kivan, what did you think about Episode 6, the season finale of Fear the Walking Dead?
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I loved every minute of it. There was so much to talk about. It was brilliant. I think the way it just took off and I don't know. I was just I didn't want it to end. I was really sad it ended because it's only an hour and I wanted it to be 5 or 6.
I was hoping that they would have done like a longer finale.
2 hours. Yeah.
A 2 hour or at least an hour and a half finale, which they didn't do. But it felt like they got a lot in there though, and they didn't. It didn't feel like they were rushing it at any point either.
Well, and also I thought there was a lot of action, not only with the zombies and things, but moving around and getting into the compound. I mean, there was so much going on. So are we going to break it down, or how are we going to do this?
Yeah. Let's just break it down just a little bit here on the beginning. We'll get to our guests here in about a minute or so.
All right.
But yeah, I thought it was great. I felt like they were kind of slow playing it. They didn't. It didn't feel like a finale.
No, not at all.
In terms of like they were trying to throw things in at you. It felt like a regular episode, but it felt very cinematic. It was awesome from that perspective. I thought so too. There was a couple of great one-liners in there that you were mentioning. Yes. What's the guy's name?
Solsar. I never know his real first name.
I loved his one-liners towards the beginning of the episode. What were some of those?
Well, the one particularly when he brought up the 2,000 people out of the the arena, and he says, "Save your ammunition."
Oh yeah, he was walking up. The guy, "Save your ammo," and then all of a sudden, and then before that too, when he was talking with his daughter.
Oh yeah.
And his daughter said, "You lied to me your whole life, this and that," and he was like, "Would you rather have me been the victim?"
Awesome line.
Just these one-liners that Solsar was giving was great.
Freaking spooky though, isn't he? Golly. Woo.
We need characters like that in Fear the Walking Dead. And because those are the guys that are really going to bring a lot of fun to this universe.
Well, let's talk about another new character that we did last week, Strand. Yeah. He's becoming a player.
Some serious stuff.
I love the way he dresses. He's just so composed, and he's got his shit together. I like him. I think he's very cool.
And we'll just jump ahead to the end of the episode with him in regards to him because when he showed up at his house, right? We both turned to each other and we said, "We thought he would have had a boat. This guy seems smarter than going to a house. We thought he would have had a boat." And sure enough,
I thought either that was going to be an island.
Yeah.
I think that was what, I said it would be an island or a boat, and it was a boat. So.
Yeah. I was like, this guy, man, that's the guy to know in the apocalypse.
The motion. He said you got to keep in motion, and I like that. But there was lots of really good stuff going on. Adam, was his name, the army guy?
Yeah, that piece of garbage, man.
Scumbag,
he got beat up, but I would have loved to have seen a bullet go through his head. I mean, come on.
Yeah. But talking about that, Travis, boom, he was hitting him hard.
Travis is
he's changing.
He's starting to come into his own.
I told you, just take one, and then he's going, and he's now carrying a rifle. He's becoming a little bit more the alpha male instead of his girlfriend.
Well, let's talk more about him in just a second. Let's get to our first guest.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, I'd love to do that.
Tracee Cocco from Star Trek, The Next Generation. She's going to talk about what she thought about Fear the Walking Dead, the season 1. So, Tracee, take it away. Tracee Cocco, you are a star from Star Trek.
Yes, The Next Generation.
And we got the picture there behind you of what you look like in the show. What was your character's name?
Lieutenant J.
Lieutenant J, and you were in some of the movies and over 80 episodes.
80 episodes.
Now, speaking of episodes, what do you think about the season of Fear the Walking Dead? How'd you like the show?
I liked it. I would love to be on it. I love The Walking Dead. The Fear the Walking Dead is great because it's a prequel to The Walking Dead.
Yeah, like what do you think about seeing having them spend more time on the kind of fall of civilization in this
I think
season?
It's awesome because I think it won't confuse people. It'll kind of mend together. And I like the show, so I'm hoping it'll come back. So
yeah, what would you hope for next season?
Oh wow. For them to survive. I mean,
awesome.
But I love the show. I love Walking Dead.
And obviously, like, nothing's going to beat the first series.
No.
But do you think this one lived up to its name?
I think so. I think they did a great job.
All right. And do you have a favorite moment from the series? Something you remember?
Wow. Well,
favorite sequence?
I like the beginning when he wakes up in that
The
church.
Yeah.
That was, I think, he's a great actor too.
So right off the bat, they had you.
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah, I keep calling him that guy you're talking about.
He looks like Johnny
Nick.
Depp.
See, there we go. Because I keep calling him. The first time I saw him, I said, "That's discount Johnny Depp."
Yeah, but I think wasn't he also in the Harry Potter?
I haven't followed Harry Potter, so I'd have to ask for my co-host.
Okay,
Watches Harry
I
Potter,
thought
so
because somebody said he looks like the guy that was in Harry Potter in the beginning. I'm like,
awesome.
But yeah, he's great.
Well, thank you for talking with us
thank
about
you.
Fear the Walking Dead.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Tracee, for being on the show. That was awesome. Now, she mentioned that discount Johnny Depp. And that's so cool that she calls him Johnny Depp, too. I told you guys, it wasn't just me. She said that discount Johnny Depp was also in Harry Potter. I know that you're a Harry Potter fan.
I am. Yeah.
Was he?
Yes, he was. Yeah, actually.
Okay.
Tom Riddle, 16-year-old, he played in the school one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was definitely in there. Actually, he's an English actor, born in London. Yeah.
Wonderful. So you guys have something in common.
Well, and actually, it's interesting that Travis is actually from New Zealand.
Okay.
Just waving the international...
And in New Zealand, that's like in the British Empire too, wasn't it? Or at some point it was, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So there's a British twist there,
right? Yeah. and let's get back to Travis too, because Travis has gone from school teacher not wanting to, shoot even a zombie. In this episode, not only did he beat a guy mostly to death, probably, put him in a coma, and left him to die.
Right.
But he also killed his ex-wife too.
Well, he's also started carrying a rifle, which shotgun, which is he was totally against weapons. Remember in the very beginning. But you're right. He beats a guy up now, and unfortunately, he had to shoot his ex-wife.
I think he's full-on zombie now. I mean, zombie guy.
Zombie killer.
Zombie killer guy. Yeah,
I think
he's
so.
full-on zombie show guy now.
Yeah, he kind of reminds you of Rick.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe
I think he's ready to go.
Maybe that's what he is. That kind of person of the group, Rick. He's taking charge now. And even his girlfriend, Madison, she's crazy enough, but she's almost took a step back and letting him take over, and then kind of feeling for him this time around. So she was definitely off him for a while.
Felt like in the beginning of the episode,
she was annoyed at him.
Yeah, it was almost like it seemed like she was losing respect for him, and I don't know if that was intended or if it was just kind of coming off something we were seeing. But I was kind of like, dude, she's gonna this guy's useless, basically, at the beginning of the episode. and by the end of it, she was consoling him, and I feel like, you know, she has respect for him again.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, definitely changed it around. But, you know, there was a lot of other things that were very cool. When they left, you know, the compound, and they were driving out, and they didn't tell any of the neighbours they were leaving.
Yeah, that...
And then they left the gate open.
Yeah.
So that the army's gone, now you leave the bloody gate open. That's not very nice.
I want to get to that right after this, because I want to talk about, too, I mean, we just talked about... what was her name that died in this episode?
We just mentioned it.
Yeah, the ex-wife. Lizzie, okay. Lisa. Because Lisa died, and before we get to the leaving the gate open thing, because I want to talk to you about that, Lisa died. And so we're kind of feeling that. I think they're trying to have us feel emotion for that. And the next guest that we're having on is Tia Maria. And Tia Maria has some thoughts. She's a model, by the way, for the steampunk genre. She has some thoughts about the characters in the show and about, you know, are we feeling for them or not? So, Tia Maria, take it away. Tell us what you think.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you think about Fear the Walking Dead?
I think it's it's there in terms of, you know, how they want to describe how it started. I think it's more of and I was discussing this with Joe, that they've kind of lost a bit of the how do I say it? Not the anxiety, the anticipation. Yeah, the tension, the anticipation, and the love for these people. They didn't really build up the characters enough for us to really care about why is that person, you know, why is it so sad that this person was shot. Because it turned into one of the walkers, you know.
You know what? You say that, and I have to agree with you on some level, because, you know,
you don't have that attachment to the character.
I'm thinking the characters were probably a lot stronger in the original series because they were comic book characters that were so fleshed out for so many years before the series starts, and I think these characters are just kind of made up, right, for the show.
Yeah, and
so
they
might not be as meaty.
Yeah, they didn't show why some of the main characters had attachments to these other side characters that started turning. You know what I mean? So it kind of lost its. Oh no, that person died. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know what too? Though it's zombies, and it's like you can't not watch though either.
Yeah, no, we're still constantly watching. We're like it's getting step by step. It gets better, like episode by episode. So we're hoping that within the next season or the
what do you want for the next season? What do you hope for the future of the show?
To be honest, I really want a lot of drama. I want a lot of I want more of that, character attachment, you know? I want that unexpected, oh my god, that just happened to this person. I loved that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's one of the great things about the show is some of the characters they kill off, you just never know.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like Game of Thrones.
It's like
it's kind of like Game of Thrones where you're like,
there's no way they can kill this character off. There's no way.
And then they kill it off.
And then like, not only do they kill him, they cut his head off or something.
Yeah, or they shoot him in the face. Yeah. Dude. Like, tear my heart out, why don't you?
Well, thanks for talking with us about Fear the Walking Dead.
Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you, Tia Maria, for being on. That's awesome. Now, she had mentioned that, you know, we're not really feeling for these characters as much as we were feeling for the last, you know, Walking Dead series. Do you agree with that, disagree with that? What do you think?
You know, I got to thinking about what she was saying, actually, and then I went looking back. You know, the first series of Walking Dead. It was
the first season?
I'm sorry, yeah. And it was 6, I think, episodes. They didn't kill anybody either. Not really, that we knew. And so you didn't have any attachment, but you were hooked to the show. And I think they've done the same thing. It's almost like following the pattern, building the characters, and then maybe, we just see one get killed.
Well, you know, when Johnny Depp, you know, Nick or whatever was behind that door and they were trying to get the door open, he was saying leave. I was thinking, you know, if they kill him right now, that's really going to make you wonder about the rest of the series, and that would take some balls. And they didn't. But maybe it's too early.
It was great suspense, though. I mean, it was good. It was good filmmaking. I mean,
and I think the only suspense was because you know, we know the Walking Dead franchise
exactly,
you know, can kill him. But I you know, in a way, I was kind of disappointed. I mean, it's good that Nick's going to be around. He's a great character, and he has a lot. He has a long ways to go in the series.
Definitely.
But if they would have killed him, I think that would have set a precedence that would have just been like, it would have knocked us on our asses, and that would have been the first thing we would have been talking about, and that would have been the big thing on the internet tomorrow, but they didn't.
And I like what he said about, what was it? He says, I've been living this for a long time.
Oh, yeah. That was where it almost got preachy, but...
well, then he says, no, everyone's catching up.
Yeah.
So he's been zombified, really, from the drugs and everything.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of a cool line. I'll enjoy
and then
one.
let's get back to, you were talking about when they left the gate open.
Yeah.
And we kind of have a different opinion on that, because I was thinking, I thought that they were going to drop like a nuclear bomb or something on the city. They never showed that. I don't know if that's going to be like in the first scene of season 2, or if that's not what Cobalt was about, but I figured...
Well, the simulation, the word Cobalt, you'd assume radiation or nuclear, perhaps, and that's what we were thinking that.
Didn't they say that they were going to exterminate the population?
And they really didn't say how. And when that, when that army captain or whatever he got killed, that's obviously they're all in retreat now. So the whole plans have gone down. But to your point, maybe next series, because there's going to be another one.
Yeah, season 2. Right? It has to be. Please. They're not losing money.
No, they better not be. So maybe that's, they get out to Abigail the boat and they're floating out then and the mushroom goes up.
Yeah, I mean, like, basically, like you were saying, it was totally horrendous that they left the gate open when they left. I was thinking, like, they're going to be dead in 3 hours anyways, but I don't
But he shut the gate on the compound.
Yeah, he shut the gate on the compound. Yeah, we don't need the zombies getting on the compound just yet. But, I thought that the, I would have liked to have seen the last scene of the show when they were pulling away from them on the beach. I would have loved to have seen a mushroom cloud come up behind them, but it didn't happen. I don't know.
It was very From Here to Eternity, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sitting on the beach and
then the camera turns around and it starts going on the water, and I'm like, what are they trying to show us now?
But there was a couple other things I liked.
I was waiting for the mushroom cloud. Basically, like the whole last 3 episodes, I was waiting to see the LA blow up. I know,
that's your thing.
Yeah.
But I thought there was a couple of good references, about taking the freeways and everything, and then and then went down the riverbed, as it were. They have that built in LA, for the floods and things. And of course there was no traffic, which is perfect, and flew down there. I hadn't realised how long that thing is, man. When you see it from the air. Woo.
Yeah. They're smart, and you know what? Speaking of smart, you want to have our next guest on? I think it's time for Doc Phineas. You know him from Pawn Stars, the television show, and I talked with Doc Phineas about the history of the actual zombies in reality. In reality, yeah.
But the other thing is that he's a Fear the Walking Dead fan and a Walking Dead fan.
He's watched this series, and so Doc Phineas is going to tell you about the history of real life zombies and the lore and why we know zombies today. Doc, take it away.
Doc Phineas. Now, have you been watching Fear the Walking Dead?
I have. I'm actually a fan of Fear the Walking Dead. So.
That's awesome. And obviously it's the season finale.
Yes.
And so I want to ask you, do you have any knowledge of the history of zombies and when that legend kind of started?
Well, actually I do know some things about zombies. I used to teach classes like in film noir, filmmaking at the university level, and I'm not a pretend professor, I'm a real professor. So I actually have traced that. And what I found so interesting, the original concept of zombie, such as, this is a person that was dead that's come back to life and is basically walking around, possibly eating people, definitely doing your bidding. That came out of Africa. And it came from the east coast of Africa in places like Benin and even further south into the Yoruban tribe. The Yoruban tradition was that certain people have enough power that they can actually induce a death and bring you back from the dead as a servant to them. So that is where the whole concept of zombie and zombieism originated. And then that went into voodoo, right? Or voodoo. And the voodoo, which turned into voodoo, right, came to the Americas. And then we had that whole zombie idea in the West Indies and in Haiti that still is very prevalent today. I've had some of my students actually write papers on this and go down to Haiti and do research, and they do say that there is some sort of powder that can be induced in people to create a zombie state, and that they do end up being the servants of people even after they're dead.
And this is something that's still going on today?
It's still going on today in the West Indies, if you can imagine. So, also in Brazil, like in Salvador, Bahia, where there's a real strong influence of Macumba. And the Macumba religion is what African slaves brought to America, coming from that part from Benin and down in the Yoruban areas. This was a part of the practices of some of the occultism of their higher wizards that could actually create zombies.
So that's the origins and the history of zombies. That's amazing.
It is actually the origin and history of zombies as we know it today on planet Earth.
Well, thank you for giving us that insight.
You're very welcome. That's my pleasure. That's what a professor is for.
Now, isn't this a great show? I mean, we got celebrities on from Star Trek, we got a model on, we got a celebrity from Pawn Stars, and we're learning real things. I learned a lot from Doc Phineas, and thank you for being on. Now, Kivan, back to the episode, back to the series, the season as a whole.
Well, I just want to kind of go back to what he was saying, actually. There was some really cool stuff in there. So, never did go into your classes, but by God, that was interesting. So, which brings me to the point about the bite. When Lizzie or Lisa, whatever her name was.
Yeah, she was trying to give some information on that. She said the bite doesn't kill you, but the infection does.
Will.
Okay.
And she said, and it doesn't matter how you die, you're going to come back.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting too, because a lot of them are getting their throats ripped out and they die instantly, but the ones that just get bitten, they don't die from the bite, but they die from the infection, which is the same.
But doesn't the bite give you the infection?
Well, truly, yeah. But
so then you die.
But even if you got run over, you're going to come back as a zombie.
Yeah,
that's the point,
I thought that statement might have been kind of silly because she's saying the bite doesn't kill you.
Well, she's not a real doctor.
Yeah, exactly. Because she's saying the bite doesn't kill you, but the infection does.
Yeah.
But every single person that gets bit dies. So every single person that gets bit gets the infection. So the bite kills you. Come on. Don't get too complicated about it. The bite kills
I guess
you.
so. I guess.
Yeah. I mean, 100% of the people that get bit get the infection.
So what about this? They wanted to go back to the desert again. They were going to head east.
The desert. Get real. Come on, dude.
So I'm glad they
You know what makes a desert a desert? Even though they said they were going to a campground. You know why it's in a desert?
Yep.
It's because there's no water.
Nobody wants to live there.
Yeah. You know why nobody lives on Mars? Because there's no water, right? Except, I guess this week they said there's water on Mars.
And then I like Maddie's comment about the doctor. She's just shot them all, killed them off.
I think she killed herself. I think that was a
and then she said she's lost. She's lost. What a
She's still a doctor. At that point, though, she's feeling suicidal. That's when you knock her out and drag her with you because she's a doctor. I mean, you need people like that in the apocalypse.
And how come Chris can't drive? And what's that all about?
Well, he was just saying that so that,
stay with Alicia?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
But that nearly backfired.
They're going to repopulate the Earth.
But that really nearly backfired with those National Guard or whatever they were going to take. I thought they were going to rape her, to be honest with you. And that was, thank God they didn't. But yeah, that was cool. So what else did you like about the show?
Well, for talking about the season as a whole, which I think we should today because it's a series finale. It was solid. I like that it didn't feel like they were throwing too much into it. They know that they have a season 2. I think they know that they're building a series, and they're not trying to go too overboard on any one episode. And this episode had a lot of zombies, but they were used appropriately. It's not zombie every 3 minutes. There was 1,000 zombies in this show, but it was...
There's no shock stuff.
Yeah, they were used. No jump scares. There's no cheap scares. This show is not about scares. This show is about tension and drama and a story. And it goes back to the whole concept of the franchise that The Walking Dead refers to the people who are alive, not the zombies.
Well, I also thought they'd throw in not necessarily comedy, but just a little bit of humor. You know, when Strand takes his cufflinks back and says, "You can keep the watch." I mean, that's kind of funny in a way, you know. So, and it's light, so it helps kind of get through. And I think maybe that's more real, you know, when you throw those little comedy pieces in, as it were. And
you know what, too? At the very end of the episode, they talked about that like a web series.
Yeah, Flight 462.
Flight 462, which we are going to check out this next week, and we're going to have another follow-up episode after we watch that.
That should be well worth watching.
Yeah.
I don't think it's particularly long. I think it's quite short, but I think it will be just interesting to see how they
give you a little bit. And you know what? They did that after the first season of Walking Dead.
And I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Oh, you got something to watch.
See, I have to go back and watch it.
It was pretty good, and it was like 4 episodes. Each one was like 8 minutes long or something. But it's a good little story, you know? And so we have that. And you know what, too, we should hit on is Walking Dead is premiering again on the 11th.
11th, yeah.
What are you hoping for on the Walking Dead? Are you excited?
Well, I'm such in the Fear the Walking Dead.
Now we got to change
switch
gears.
over.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to reserve judgment because I'm so into this show right now. That,
and you know what we got to do too?
Yeah.
Honestly, you know, is we got to go back and watch like the last 5 episodes or something to regroup and remember what's going on.
Yeah, they keep showing snippets, but I agree with you. I think we need to do that.
Because I remember, I know that they left it on a cliffhanger,
right?
And that that one guy from the first season had come back, and I remember, I think Rick was held at gunpoint, and that's how the show kind of ended. But I don't remember.
No, we
got to go back and watch like the last 5 episodes.
Yeah, and I was also thinking about a line out of tonight's show where Alicia said, "You can't save everyone," and I thought that was really good as well. Very poignant. There's some really good stuff in there tonight.
The women are so smart in this show, aren't they?
And I like that.
Oh, and speaking of women too, the daughter there got shot too, and I think she's obviously going to make it though. I don't think there's any real.
You know, I'd kind of forgotten about and all the things, but yeah, you know,
I think she's going to be fine. I think she's.
Well, according to the Lisa or Lisa. She is going to live. She says she can survive it, so we have to assume that she will.
See, I thought it would have been sadder if she would have died and Lisa would have stayed alive. And honestly, I think character-wise, without knowing what's coming up, just as a fan, I think Lisa would have provided more interesting character development in season 2 than that daughter character. Because I don't even know her name. I mean, she doesn't have any specialties. She's just a pretty girl.
Although she could beat the hell out of that zombie. That was awesome stuff. Yeah, I really did enjoy that tonight.
But I thought it would have screwed up Salazar more. I mean, imagine him if his daughter had... Imagine if that shot would have been in her head.
Right.
And the conflict that he could have had with Travis
over that.
In the future... How screwed up he would be as a torturer, having his daughter being killed because of Travis's compassion. And I don't know. I would have rather, but it didn't happen. But I would have rather have seen that soldier shoot her in the head and blown off her head, and have no chance of her surviving. And I think that would have made for a much more interesting dynamic on season 2.
Well, and the fact that Salsa even said to him, you know, you can't be nice, basically.
Yeah.
Because it went backfire.
Because I'm almost thinking too. You know, we had Walking Dead with Shane,
right,
and Grimes and Rick Grimes, right, and Shane and Rick, you know, butting heads, culminating to one of them killing the other one. You know, there could be that kind of dynamic with Salazar and Travis.
They definitely don't like each other.
I mean, you know, it would. That'd be kind of cool to see that happen in season 2. That's what I want for season 2. I want Salazar and Travis to get so mad at each other at some point that one of them kills each other and kills the other one, and I think that'd be very traumatic and very sad because they're both good guys. And
well, plus living on a boat. I mean, it's not that big, is it?
Which boat. Genius, and I think it's going to be a fun. I hope that they spend some time on the boat because I'm thinking they're not just going to be on a boat.
No,
they're going to have to go up for supply runs and
that's
stuff.
when it's going to get dangerous. Yeah,
it's going to be fun
because they can move around. Obviously, that was the point of the motion. But you were saying, more 500 yards off the
You don't have to be in the middle of the sea.
And at least you're safe at night.
Yeah.
And then in the day you can go on your food runs.
A boat is the only way you're going to sleep tight in a zombie apocalypse. You go out, 2,000, 3,000 feet into the ocean, and you sleep, and then when you need a supply run, you pull up and you.
We should have had a boat sponsor.
Right?
We could have been selling boats.
But anyways, I think. What else do you want to cover? Did we cover everything?
Well, I think we got. Well, I just want to thank the 3 guests that came on the show.
Yes.
That was awesome. We did kind of promise you that, but we didn't quite deliver until today.
I mean,
we did.
I mean, Tracee Cocco from Star Trek. Awesome. Freaking amazing. Thank you for being on.
Yeah.
Tia Maria, a beautiful model, giving her opinions, and that was awesome. And then, of course, Doc Phineas giving us,
that was awesome.
a little science lesson and stuff. Real, actual, famous
Bonafide people.
Yeah, bonafide, famous, successful people.
Yeah, well, I've enjoyed this show. I just wish it went on longer. I'm wanting more, so that's good. That's how you're supposed to leave it.
Season 2 is probably going to be longer.
I think if they follow the same pattern, then it could well be. Yeah, It seems like that they've got the formula, and they know what to do with it. So let's hope.
It was wonderful, and it was fun. I want to thank our sponsor, too, for giving us these great outfits to wear. Zombies Eat Fresh. Come on, that's awesome. Rick Grimes. We're modeling more of the simple costume tonight. And, that's definitely a great option, especially for people our age, too. Sometimes you can't spend a lot of time putting on makeup or wearing a big thing. You get hot and everything.
Exactly.
Throw on a Zombies Eat Fresh shirt.
Exactly.
You're good to go. There's your costume. We got a lot more coming up, too, on Blue Number Media. This isn't the end of anything. This is the end of this one particular series. But we are just getting started here on Blue Number Media. And there's a ton of videos coming up.
Yep.
And a ton of interviews and pranks and skits.
Yes.
And more reviews and more famous guests. I'm telling you, too. I mean, we have guests already scheduled coming up in October that are successful in the movie industry.
Absolutely.
And fun things. And so, you can subscribe.
That's the key.
Subscribe and stick around to Blue Number Media on YouTube, bluenumbermedia.com. And you can send us an email if you want to get in touch at bluenumbermedia@gmail.com. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, all that stuff.
And, make remarks at the bottom of the show.
Comment.
Yeah, comment.
Yeah, tell us what you thought of the episode.
Absolutely.
And tell us, too, what you want to see in Season 2.
Right.
Because that's what we're going to have to be thinking about now for the next year
so
as we're waiting.
Let's just, before we break away, Walking Dead, what are we going to do? Are we going to do another show for that?
We're going to be thinking about it.
We're going to think about it.
There is The Talking Dead.
Of course.
And they do a great job. In fact, I think they did an episode tonight, too, which we have to go back and watch. But we didn't want to watch that first because we want to, we don't want to,
absolutely
have them influence what we say. So so we're doing this without seeing that. But, the Walking Dead series, they have The Talking Dead, so, I don't know, we'll think about it.
Yeah, maybe we will. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, do you want to see us do Walking Dead as well?
Yeah. Well, with that, I'm very happy with the show. I'm glad.
It was fun.
Yeah, I'm glad that it was the way it was.
And we did it from beginning to end. It was a whole series. We did our first...
It was awesome.
Give me 5, man. We did our first beginning to end series. And thank you for watching and sticking around. Now, also, too, this is in a playlist. And so, if you go to the playlist of this episode, you can see we did episode 1 and 2 together.
Correct.
Episode 3, episode 4, episode 5, and then this one. So, go back and watch them. We have a special one with a doctor that was fun, too.
That was fun, Dr. Hillard.
Yeah, I think that was episode 3, was it? Or episode 4? Episode 4 was with the doctor.
Yeah.
And so, go back, and if this is your first one that you're seeing, go back and watch the other ones, too.
Please. Yeah, thank you.
Well, Kivan, are you... ready to take off? Thank you for watching. Subscribe to Blue Number Media. Got so much coming up. Just all sorts of great things.
Can we get a drink? Cheers! Woo!
All right. See you guys.